everyone for her tea. Tea kettle. I'll tell the others. Come in. Miss Emiline has returned, Miss Judith.
Good. Now remember, Sarah, take her into the front parlor and don't tell her anyone in the family is here.
Yes, Miss Judith. Oh, Miss Emmeline's going to be so happy. She's always dreamed of a Christmas like this, surrounded by the family.
So have we, Sarah.
What do we do? Yell surprise or just say boo?
Whatever we do, Roger, let's do it quietly. You know Aunt Emmeline. She'll faint if she's frightened.
I could have been on the back nine in Palm Beach right now.
May I remind you, brother dear, that Craig and I canceled a party for 30 in Palm Springs.
Oh. I brought back some guests. Come in, gentlemen. Right this way, gentlemen. This is my parlor. Come right in, gentlemen. We'll have tea here. Take seats, gentlemen. Sarah, I've also invited the gentlemen to stay for dinner. Dinner? Did you hear that? They're also staying for dinner. Oh, what should we do, Nora? Tell the family first or call Mr. Jones?
The Law and Mr. Jones. Created by Cy Gomberg. Starring James Whitmore. Presented by
No, Ed, I can't come over. No, I haven't got much time. I'm doing something very important. No. You know how I love office parties. Sure. Yeah.
How he is?
Well, just take away his mistletoe and tie up his hands. Yeah. Wait, hold it, will you, Ed, just a second? Yeah. Here we are. Huh? Oh, yes. I'm going to fly out tonight, as a matter of fact, going down to spend Christmas with my father. Yeah, I hope you get in some skiing. Yeah. Okay, boy. Yeah, goodbye. And Merry Christmas to you. What's this?
Hot toddies for a drink to the holidays.
That's wonderful.
Hey, wait for me. I'm coming down.
See, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
What happened?
It's my first time on skis.
Look, this wasn't necessary, you know. It's only 4 o'clock. The plane doesn't leave till 7.
Well, we didn't want you to have to rush today, Mr. Jones.
See, we figured to get all your stuff ready, and then we could all sit down and relax before you left.
Relax, huh?
Yeah.
All right, relax we shall. Don't move a muscle, see? Sit down, Miss Beer, please. There we go. Hot toddies. Now it's Christmas.
Oh, the
Nope, not today. That's sleigh bells.
It could be important.
Nope, jingle bells. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun
No,
it is.
it's a telephone.
I'm not
Hello,
here.
A.L. Jones.
I'm not here.
Oh, he's right here.
Sarah? 3 bums.
Yes, 3 bums from a mission downtown. Ooh.
And she's going to give a dinner party for them. Imagine.
How could she do this? She's always been so timid.
Well, maybe she's living a double life. Sweet Aunt Emmeline by day, and easy breezy Emmy by night.
This is not funny, DJ.
Ho.
Oh, but it is hard to believe. Oh, is it? Well, they're right across the hallway in the parlor with her right now.
Can you imagine if the papers get a hold of this?
Judith, please don't say that.
Very well, Jones. You're her lawyer?
What are you going to do about it?
Aggression's aggressions.
Well, have you talked to your aunt about this?
No.
I wanted to, of course, but my wife felt that the surprise of our being here, on top of her being caught doing something like this, might, send her off her rocker.
The term, Docs, is cause a psychological trauma.
Yes.
So we thought we ought to talk to you first. We're away so much, and you have been close to her.
So why didn't you tell us the truth, Jones?
What truth?
Well, that she's been going off her rocker.
Oh, now, wait a minute, Mr. Forrester. No, I wrote you that she wasn't feeling well, but I thought she was just lonely. There's nothing wrong with her mind.
Oh, but people can go off just like that, you know. Isn't that what your psychiatrist said?
Oh, yes, Docs, but he was talking about your stability.
For all we know, she may belong in a sanitarium.
Oh, I'd have to disagree with that, Mrs. Dillingham. She was perfectly fine when I saw her a few days ago.
Oh, but that doesn't mean a thing when you know what's going on in there right now.
What is going on in there right now?
We don't know.
Well, don't you think we ought to find out?
Very well. Let's find out. I'll go with you.
Oh, Mr. Forrester, please, I'd prefer that you didn't go.
Why not?
Well, your overt anxieties might cause a traumatic manifestation to your aunt's security syndromes. I'm sure your wife would agree.
Oh, Mr. Bowles, that's magnificent.
Thank you. Now, what's this one? This used to kill people.
Oh, it's all right, gentlemen. Sit down. It's Mr. Jones. Oh. Hello, Mr. Jones. This is quite a surprise.
Yes, it is. Merry Christmas to you, Miss Forrester, and to your friends, too. Please sit down, gentlemen.
This is my attorney.
It's a pleasure to meet you all. What's your name, sir?
He's Mr. Bowles. He used to be a musical comedy star on Broadway. He was just showing us one of his famous dances.
Well, it looked wonderful, Mr. Bowles.
And this is Mr. Barrows. He's a retired chef. He cooked in some of our best hotels. And this is Mr. Mumpson. He's a famous boat designer.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you all, Jim. Please, sit down.
Come in. The baths are ready, ma'am. Oh, that's good, Sarah. Will you please show the gentleman the way? Gentlemen, go with Sarah, please.
It's nice to have met you all.
Dinner will be at 7. And Sarah, ask chauffeur to get them some ties.
Yes, ma'am.
You're not going to scold me for this, are you, Mr. Jones?
Scold you, Miss Forrester? Certainly not. But would you tell me how it happened?
I don't know. I never did a thing like this before. You see, every Christmas Eve I drive to the mission and send my chauffeur in with a check. But today, I went in myself. Mr. Jones, I found there men who were terribly frightened. Men, Mr. Jones. I didn't know men could be that frightened.
Oh, yes, Miss Forrester. We're just not supposed to show it, that's all.
These men have nobody, Mr. Jones. Nobody cares about them, and they need to be cared about.
Then what you did was right. There's something I have to tell you. Your family's here.
All of them?
Yes, they're right across the hall. They've come to surprise you for Christmas.
Oh, Mr. Jones, I don't think they could possibly understand. I told you. I don't even understand myself.
Well, suppose you let me try to explain it to them.
What will you say?
Why, I'll say that you've done something that they should be very proud of. Something very courageous. Don't ever change
courage becomes you.
What? I said the men are really quite harmless, and, well, I think you ought to join them for dinner.
Do you know what you're asking?
It would only be for a few hours, and your aunt is really very excited. It's the first time she's ever done anything like this. Now, I think you ought to help her enjoy it.
Imagine. We could see how the other half eats. I vote yes. How about you, Craig? Good. That's 2 of us. Judith? Come on. Be compulsive. For Christmas.
Well, I don't know. What do you think, Roger?
In the absence of his usual aggressive reflexes, I would say he was relating Mr. Jones.
Well, that's wonderful. I've got to catch a plane. I'm sorry I've got to run along, but it's been very nice to have met you all. Oh, and Merry Christmas.
What was that gobbledygook you just said to him?
Well, that since you didn't attack him, you were agreeable ducks.
Oh, I am I? Well, you listen to me. Maybe he thinks it's all right for Aunt Emiline to have people like that in this house, but I don't. Why, her entire estate could be in jeopardy here.
Ours, brother dear.
Right. And I'm going to do something about throwing them out right now. What do you think of that?
Ho, ho.
Well, I told you it wouldn't take long. It's not even 5 yet. Now, where are those hot toddies? What's the matter?
A lady just called, sir. She said to tell you that the war between the estates is about to begin, and where will Lincoln be when the first shot is fired? Ho, ho.
Oh, no.
You're gonna be late.
You'll miss your plane.
Saddle up and follow me.
Get my hat and coat, and I'll get the bags and the skis and stuff.
You merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay.
And Emiline, we just want to talk to you, that's all. And now please open the door.
To save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray.
And Emiline, I must warn you, you're taking the wrong attitude.
Comfort and joy.
Comfort and joy.
Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
And stop that singing in there.
Louder, gentlemen.
God rest you, merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay.
Aunt Emiline, I've told you, Judge Ross and Dr. Buchanan are here. They want to see you, and I insist that you open this door. If you won't listen to reason, I warn you, I'll be forced to break the lock.
Wait a minute. What's going on here?
This has nothing to do with you, Jones.
I'm your aunt's attorney, and I'd like an explanation.
Well, not from me.
A certain party thinks Aunt Emiline should be locked up before she flies away.
Exactly. And we're going to get a court order tonight to do just that.
Easy, Roger. Easy.
Hello, Link.
Well, Taylor, what are you doing here?
Well, Mr. Green happens to be my attorney, and I called him.
It is an emergency, Link, and a serious one, I'd say.
Well, I'd say that's nonsense.
Nonsense. Just listen to them in there.
It's Christmas, isn't it?
Do you realize she wants to keep those awful men here permanently?
Why did you decide this?
When Ducks wanted to throw her 3 gentlemen out on their patches.
Ducks.
That's me. And she not only refused, she said, courage becomes me. Ever hear anything like that?
Yes.
We've got to do something with her, Mr. Jones.
Such as Mrs. Dillingham?
That's what we want Dr. Buchanan and Judge Ross to decide. Gentlemen, this is Mr. Jones.
How do you do?
How do you do, sir? Nice to know you.
I've heard a great deal about you, Mr. Jones.
Well, I certainly have heard of you, sir. Surely you don't intend to sign an order to commit Miss Forrester, do you?
Well, do you think I want to? I've known Emiline all my life. I wouldn't be here tonight otherwise. Under the circumstances, I think she ought to be examined.
I see. Would you permit me to speak to her alone, sir?
Well, if you'll stand aside, we can all talk to her. I'm going to break down that door.
No, you're not.
Oh, I'm not.
No, you're not. I'm sure she'll open it for me.
Oh, you are you?
Now, gentlemen, please. Perhaps Mr. Jones is right, Roger.
Not the way I look at it.
Miss Emiline? Miss Emiline?
Is that you, Mr. Jones?
Yes, it is. Would you unlock this door? I promise I'll come in alone.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here. After you left, Roger came and... well, it was terrible, Mr.
I
Jones.
can imagine.
Well, I'm afraid I did say something that upset Roger.
Yeah. Like having these gentlemen live here?
Oh, I didn't mean that. It wouldn't be proper. I meant in the carriage house. It's not being used, and they could do all sorts of wonderful things out there.
When did you get this idea?
It just popped out when Roger made me angry. You see, Mr. Mumpson told me how he's always dreamed about designing unusual boats. And Mr. Barrows has some marvelous recipes he'd love to develop. And Mr. Bowles wants to write about his life on Broadway. So I thought if they all lived here and I could help them... Oh, well, you don't think it's a good idea either.
Oh, on the contrary, I do, Miss Forrester.
But you laugh.
Only because you look so excited and happy and beautiful. I think it's a wonderful idea.
You see? Mr. Jones thinks it's a wonderful idea.
And that's what you think?
Yes, it is. Judge Ross, would you say that anybody was incompetent who wanted to help men who at one time in their lives may have had great potential but have since been discarded by society simply because they were too old?
Why, no, of course not.
What about you, Dr. Buchanan?
No?
Well, then how possibly can we call Miss Emiline incompetent simply because she wants to do that?
Your Honor, there's a much deeper problem here. To help someone is admirable, but for Miss Forrester, whose sheltered life we all know, suddenly to want all sorts of men living here with her, I find quite abnormal.
Mr. Green is quite inaccurate, Your Honor. Miss Forrester doesn't want those men to live here. She wants to lodge them in the carriage house out back. And as far as the money's concerned, a foundation could be set up.
A foundation?
Yes, it's being done by any number of people today.
Oh, just name one that's set up to support bums and liars.
Bums and liars. Now, wait a minute, Mr. Forrester. One of those men designed boats, another was a chef, and another performed on Broadway.
Oh, I think you're wrong, Mr. Jones. While you were inside, I called the mission about these men. They did lie. Mumpson was just a shipyard janitor. Barrows was a wandering fry cook. And Bowles never reached Broadway. He worked in burlesque.
Oh. It's going to be quite a shock for Miss Forrester.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry.
So what do you suggest now?
Couldn't they at least stay for dinner?
Absolutely not. It's got to be settled now.
We agree. Settle it now.
In Emiline's present state of mind, I'm afraid it is necessary.
Miss Spear, would you call the airport and see if you can get me a later reservation? I'll talk to Miss Forrester.
But, Mr. Jones.
All right, Mr. Jones.
Well, I've explained the entire situation to Miss Forrester, and she's very grateful for all your concern, but she flatly refuses to change her mind about helping these men.
What?
And furthermore, I agree with her.
Oh, Judge, this is ridiculous. It's preposterous. We can't...
Quiet, please. Now, Mr. Jones, I think perhaps you'd better explain yourself.
I'll try, Your Honor. First of all, I'd like to make it very clear that these men lied about themselves. But who of us doesn't? How many of us see ourselves as we really are and not as we want to be or as we once dreamed of being? And how many of us can admit our failure in the realization of those dreams? Even those of us that the world would call successful. Now, these men failed, but they admit it. They're still very much alive, however, and so are their dreams. Perhaps those dreams may come true this time. That's all Miss Forrester wants to do. Give them that second chance to realize their dreams. Now, can that be so wrong? They're willing to live at the mission and come here only during the day to earn that chance. But if you refuse them, they will leave now for Miss Emiline's sake and not return. But before you make your decision, I beg of you to remember why we celebrate this night, how it first came to be. And I urge you not to turn away those who, for the time being, are only able to receive. Don't judge someone badly who wants to give of herself, who has a very simple faith in another human being. Thank you, Your Honor.
If a man wanted to compose music, could he come here at times for that, Emiline?
Oh, yes, Howard.
I make ceramics, Miss Forrester.
Have you all gone out of your minds?
What concerns you, Mr. Forrester? It can't be your aunt's welfare. You've proven that all these years. What is it? Is it your inheritance? You afraid that this might lower the property value of this house?
How dare you say that?
Because I believe it.
Then I think you and I had better step into the next room and settle this.
Gladly.
Mr. Jones. Mentally, he is a lightweight. Physically, he did box middleweight at 3 colleges.
Thank you.
If any surviving member of the family is willing to acknowledge satisfaction, I'd call the case closed.
Acknowledge satisfaction. I certainly...
I think the judge is right.
What? Oh, Craig Dillingham. I never heard of such...
Judith, you have been talking too much for the past 15 years, and now for once, please shut up!
Yes, dear.
Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Dillingham.
Case is closed.
Well, I've got to get on my way. See, get me a cab. Thank you, Judge. Dr. Mary.
Mr. Jones, we called the airline. There are no
Barrows, Mary
reservations.
Christmas.
Mr. Jones, there are no reservations. Mr. Jones, there are no reservations. It's too late.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Hey, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh.
Thank you very much.
It sounds like quite a party. We're having quite a party here, too. Oh, yeah. No, I'm not alone. Far from it, Pop. Just a minute. Thank you. Right. Yeah, oh, that's just a chef, I know. Yeah, Pop, coming up first thing in the morning, C and Miss Spear and I, that's right. Merry Christmas to you, too, and to everybody else. Good night, Pop.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Hey, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh.
This has been a 4-star production.